Something is happening in Jamaica. Something affecting many families, men, women, and children. Something we need to deal with urgently. IPV. What is IPV?
IPV.
IPV is the acronym for Intimate Partner Violence.
Intimate partner violence.
Intimate partner violence.
Intimate partner violence. Alright.
Intimate meaning two persons who are closely related.
It could be sexual, not just sitting and talking, but touching and hugging, kissing, petting.
Oh, I get you. And the P?
P, the partner. Partners are partners.
Violence means anything that violates your right as a human being.
Abuse or aggression.
Kicking, hitting, spitting, slashing, cutting, shooting, stabbing, anything physical.
So just physical stuff?
It can also be psychological.
Oh, you mean like being threatened?
Yes.
That's it?
Financial violence. Persons force you to work.
So you get paid, I take all of your salary. So you don't have anything at all.
Sexual violence, rape, or any kind of sexual assault. Don't forget things like cultural violence.
Oh, the abusive behavior that is considered normal in society.
The word intimate partner violence is fairly new. People still know about domestic violence. Now we have decided to break it down worldwide. We've decided to say there's something called intimate partner violence, and this is something that we're talking about more in Jamaica now.
As we should, but domestic violence, gender-based violence, now intimate partner violence, what's the difference?
There's so much overlap, and in fact, IPV could be considered a subset of gender-based violence.
Wait. So IPV, that's violence against a romantic partner, and gender-based violence, violence against someone because of their gender, and domestic violence?
The domestic violence tends to talk about people who are living together mostly. The intimate partner violence doesn't necessarily mean living in the same space.
So tell us, how common is intimate partner violence in Jamaica?
1 in 4 Jamaican women are experiencing intimate partner violence.
1 in 4? So that's 37,500 women. Enough to fill National Stadium or 700 JUTC buses. Wow. That's a lot of women.
The numbers also for men are also particularly high. I didn't realize they were as high as they are.
They suffer in silence.
If a woman a beat you, technically I'm a man. You go into the station and say, oh, woman a beat me. Don't the police them a go there?
Often these men, they are victims themselves as children. Now they tend to be doing the same thing because they didn't get help at an early age.
So women are more likely to report it, but men are the silent sufferers. Some statistics say up to 40 in every 100 men are victims. Luckily, there is help from organizations like the Jamaica Family Planning Association.
We looked at the data generally, especially the Women's Health Survey that was done a few years ago. And it suggested to us very strongly that the earlier you get involved in a domestic arrangement, is the greater the likelihood that it will continue, and consequences should be very severe.
And so you got a grant to help tackle the problem.
The funds come from Global Affairs Canada through our parent organization, IPPF, International Planned Parenthood Federation.
There are 3 different sections under this particular grant.
Okay, so section 1.
It's to do the training for 50 persons.
And section 2.
To advocate to the Ministry of Health and Wellness about the intimate partner violence risk assessment tool.
And the last section.
Educate and inform young people, youth and adolescents 16 to 25 years old about intimate partner violence.
Much of the intimate partner violence work and the gender-based violence work seems to target females. We believe that we need to target the young men as well if we are going to talk about preventing intimate partner violence.
It don't make sense. You go say, alright, I'm gonna kill a woman, I chop off her head because she left me and she give me a bone her head. All of these things could have been prevented.
This training was done by Jamaica Family Planning Association and the Victim Support Division.
The training was designed to build the skills of counselors and others in social service agencies, both civil society organizations and government sector, to enable them to screen individuals who are at risk of intimate partner violence.
Sounds good. But haven't we had this kind of training going on in the past?
This IPV training is different because it focuses on looking at the risks and assessing the risk of intimate partner violence and using that as a jumping off point for counseling and referral of individuals.
In my organization, 25 persons from victim services were trained. Victim services is actually in every parish. So persons were pulled from different parishes to undergo this training.
Okay, and what did you learn?
The impact of intimate partner violence on our culture, even our children,
The different types of risk associated with it.
how we process.
How to see the signs and the symptoms.
What we as caseworkers, psychologists, counselors can do.
How to get help and why persons are reluctant to get help.
To use more familiar language. The slapping, the kicking, the cutting, even shooting.
Can we hear from an IPV survivor?
I'm a survivor of intimate partner violence.
Say that again, Miss Small?
I'm a survivor of intimate partner violence.
Wow, but you didn't stay, right?
Before I experienced intimate partner violence, I always ask the same question that everybody has asked. Why them don't come out of it?
This person is beating you, pummeling you, giving you black eye, and choose you're back with that person. Why?
It's not just something that is uncommon, but a lot of people experience it.
And there's a name for it, right?
The honeymoon phase, I prefer to call it manipulative phase. After the person has been battered and bruised and everything else, there is this nice, loving contrition. I am so sorry. I won't make it happen again. And this person is like the person that he or she used to be before the violence starts.
And the whole cycle starts over again. Remember, 1 in 4 women, up to 40 in 100 men. One main aspect of the training is the risk assessment tool.
The instrument is really a form
Oh, it's a form, so like a questionnaire?
that asks certain questions. What's your name, your age? Are you being hit by your partner? Are you being slapped?
So who's using this tool?
Persons we trained from civil society groups and the University of the West Indies and the Victim Services Division have been using the tool successfully. It has gone very, very well.
As in very, very well?
Very, very well.
So what do the trainees have to say about the program?
I have been waiting for some training in intimate partner violence for a long time.
The training has boosted my self-confidence.
Definitely it has helped me to be even more empathetic and sympathetic towards clients.
So now these 50 trainees have been given ambassador pins and will be spreading the word about intimate partner violence. Alrighty, let's talk about advocacy.
We are expecting to advocate for the Ministry of Health to adopt a screening tool for intimate partner violence, and in so doing to improve the quality of care for especially adolescents.
Great idea and necessary too. So how's it been going?
There are some hitches. We have to negotiate with the Ministry of Health for the tool to be fully adopted in that system.
Well, let's hope those hitches are unhitched soon, eh? How can we tell when there's IPV?
Withdrawal.
Withdrawal?
Withdrawal from family and friends. All of a sudden we can't see that person anymore. They don't call, they don't come by. We invite them out, they don't come. There's withdrawal from work as well.
So what should we do if we're being abused?
Seek counseling. This person is embarrassing you in public. Seek counseling. Hitting you, taking the family money and gambling it out and drinking it out. Seek counseling.
Well, what about confidentiality?
Confidentiality is very important. I mean, that's one of the first things that you have to let the client know, that whatever is discussed between you and I, it stays here.
All right, so where can I get help? Remember, not everybody is comfortable talking to the police.
We can't then force them to contact the police. What we can do then is inform them about other services that are available. But there are many persons who go to the police first and get help.
So what about specialized help for people living with HIV/AIDS? Marilyn?
Our 3 offices across the island in Mobe, St. Ann and in Kingston all have psychologists. So our clients know that they can come to us, and we are big on social media, for example. We do a lot of advocacy through our social media platforms.
And Jamaica AIDS Support for Life also has an annual silent protest march on International Day to End Violence Against Women, November 25th. You can check it out on their social media.
Our teenagers are being abused left, right, and center.
Miss Small, you've led us right into the project's final section.
Definitely what teenagers, I believe, need right now concerning this would be access to helplines, contact information, emergency shelters, information like that where they could get assistance readily.
Makes a lot of sense. So how early can we start?
I believe we can start as early as kindergarten. We talk about good touch, bad touch, and we build on that.
Phew, that's a lot of information. So let's see. We've covered what IPV is, the victims, including men, and this amazing project. It's training, advocacy, and focus on young people. So, final words, Jackie?
I think in Jamaica we have a long way to go before intimate partner violence is cleared up. I mean, a long way to go. But it has started. People are aware. Shelters are out there. The police stations now have GBV helplines. We have this wonderful risk assessment tool that can identify persons who are experiencing this. And we have a lot of trained social workers and psychologists out there. A lot of new programs have started, Spotlight Initiative, different things are happening right now, to educate and inform people about intimate partner violence. So let's hope and see. I mean, let's all see how we can work together, but we have to start somewhere.
If our women are hurting, our whole nation is hurting as well. And our children suffer the most, the children and the elderly, and we don't want to see that continuing. So we want to see an end to that.
If you or anyone you know is a victim of intimate partner violence, reach out to any of the following organizations.